Now, the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Esiedu-Bekwai, revealed that 168 cases were recorded yesterday, and the wearing of face masks has dropped by 5%. We'll bring you that clip much later. Let's now go to this legal tussle that is developing. The Attorney General's office has filed criminal charges, including causing financial loss to the state, against former Deputy Finance Minister Dr. Cassiel Ato-Forson and two others. The two are Sylvester Animana, who was a chief director at the Ministry of Health when the alleged crimes are said to have been committed, and a businessman, Richard Jakba. The case relates to the procurement of 200 ambulances by the Professor John Evans Atta Mills and John Mahama-led governments. Documents filed by the AG's office trace the events culminating in the alleged crimes to an announcement made in the 2009 State of the Nation's address regarding plans to procure ambulances for the country. My colleague Elton Brobe has details of the charges.
According to the writ filed by the Attorney General, Cassiel Ato-Forson, who between August 2014 and April 2016, according to the particulars of offense in Accra, in the Greater Accra Regional Republic, willfully caused financial loss of 2.370 million euros to the Republic by authorizing irrevocable letter of credit valued at 3.950 million euros to be established, out of which payment amounting to 2.370 million euros were made to Big C General Trading Limited of Dubai for the supply of vehicles purporting to be ambulances without due cause and authorization. Against Ato-Forson has also been cited in an abasement of crime, namely willfully causing financial loss to the Republic, contrary to Section 201 of the Criminal Offences Act. Now, as it relates to Sylvester Animana, his particulars of offense include the fact that between August 2014 and April 2016, Accra, in the Greater Accra region, Cassiel Ato-Forson, he abetted with Cassiel Ato-Forson to cause financial loss of 2.370 million euros to the Republic of Ghana by facilitating Cassiel Ato-Forson authorization of irrevocable letters of credit, under which payment were made to Big C General Trading Limited of Dubai for the supply of vehicles purporting to be ambulance without due process and authorization.
Meanwhile, the former Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. Cassiel Ato-Forson, has described the charges leveled against him as frivolous in an attempt to silence him. This came up at a press briefing in Accra this morning. My colleague Parker Wilson joins us with more from that media briefing. Parker, good to have you on board. What exactly did Ato-Forson say on these accusations that have been leveled against him?
Now, Ben, he is of the view that because of his opposition and rejection against the e-levy, this government seeks to persecute him. Now, he recounted to us or chronicled what happened some years ago. In fact, he says that when the procurement started in 2012, he was not a minister. He was only a backbencher in Parliament. It was only in 2014 when he became a deputy minister. And of course, at the time, his minister was Seth, and so he only acted on behalf of his minister. And he indicated that, assuming that indeed the ambulances were at fault, nothing stopped government from ensuring that the ambulance were fixed. It took steps to remedy the situation because government is a continuum. And so for him, he did not authorize the payment because he only acted on behalf of his minister. And again, the Attorney General at the time advised the Ministry of Finance before proceeding to issue the letter of credit. So nobody can accuse him of causing financial loss to the state. And even with that, he insisted that no loss or the country has not lost any money as far as the procurement of the ambulances is concerned. So he's prepared and ready to meet the AG and government in court when the time comes. And then, interestingly, he disclosed to me that he hasn't even been served with the suit or the ring. And so he's waiting patiently for when you'll be served. But if he receives it, obviously his lawyers and the team, his legal team, will get ready to face government in court.
Parker, I'm wondering, Has he spoken to the core issue of the ambulances not being fit for purpose, basically not being able to execute what they were acquired for? Has he spoken to that specific issue?
Ben, for him, he says he has no expertise when it comes to the procurement of vehicles. He's only a finance expert, and he believes in inflation and financial deficit. He has no expertise when it comes to ascertaining whether an ambulance is fit for purpose or not. So those who were in charge are the ones who are supposed to be blamed. For him, all he did was that, per the instructions of his minister at the time, he issued a letter of credit. So even if the ambulance were not fit for purpose, he cannot determine whether the ambulance was in a proper shape to execute the mandate for which they were brought into the country.
Thank you, Parker, for bringing us the latest on that development from that briefing.